Hello, my name is Professor Rad, and today we're going to talk about how to multiply using the traditional method. In the last video, we discussed multiplication and we used the box method. So we're going to find exactly those same products here, but we're going to use an alternate technique. So you can decide which technique works better for you. So let's start out by multiplying 267 by 38. It doesn't matter which number you write on top or bottom. We're going to write them just like you would for addition, lining up place values and all that. But I usually like to write the longer number up top. So 267 is the longer number, so I'm going to put that one up top and 38 underneath. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like this 3 doesn't exist. And I'm going to multiply 8 by 7, 8 by 6, and 8 by 2. So you pretend like that 3 doesn't exist at all. So we have 8 times 7, which is going to be 56. Now, just like when you're adding, we do have to carry. So 8 times 7 is 56. We write the 6 underneath, and we carry the 5 into the next column. Now, unlike adding, I'm not going to multiply the 8 by the 6 and the 5. I'm going to do 8 times 6, which is going to give me 48, and then I have to add the number I carried over. So 8 times 6 is 48, plus 5, 48, 49, 50, if you want to do 53. So I put the 3 below and carry the 5. And then I'm going to do 8 times 2, which is 16, plus 5, 21. So again, I did 8 times 7, and that gave me 56. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 5 gave me 53. And then 8 times 2 is 16, plus 5 gave me 21. So we did everything on top multiplied by 8. Now we're going to do everything on top times 3. So we pretend like that 8 doesn't exist. But notice that the 3 is in the tens place. So I have to have some way of indicating that I've moved over one place to be multiplying by this 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 0 placeholder here to indicate that this 3 was in the tens place when I multiplied. Oh, and I don't need these numbers I carried, so I can either erase or cross them out. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 times 7, 3 times 6, and 3 times 2 in the same manner as we did before. So 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to write down my 1, carry the 2. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So I put the 0, carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So I multiplied 3 by everything up top. And if I had more digits, I would keep going to the left doing that. But that's it. We multiplied by both of the digits in 38. So now we're going to add these numbers together. 6 and 0 makes 6. 3 and 1 makes 4. 1 and 0 is 1. 2 and 8 is 10. So in the end, we get 10,146. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in that table method when we used that one. Oh, let's see if we can get these both on screen. One moment. Here we go. So I wanted to bring the table method on here so we can see basically what's happening when we use the traditional process. The traditional method is taking the box method and really condensing it down into a smaller form. So in the box method, we had to do, I'm going to look at the second row first. We had to do 8 times 7, 8 times 60, 8 times 200, and from that we got 2,136. That's exactly what we did when we did 8 times 7, 6, and 2 to get 2,136. So you would get that same value either way. Same thing when we multiplied each of these by that 3. and we got 8,010. When I multiplied each of these by 3 in that top row, we got 8,010. So really what the traditional method is doing is it's allowing us to not have to write all these zeros. But what it's also doing in that process is it's masking what it is we're actually doing. And so this process is a lot harder to generalize to algebra. We're not going to see this process as much. I just wanted to point that out just so you can see that it's working exactly the same way. We just write it a different way. Let's do another example of using the traditional method. So again, I'm going to write the longer number up top. So again, it doesn't matter which one comes first or second. I just like to write the longer one across the top. So we're going to have 2,304. And then I'm going to put 526 underneath. I'm going to begin the same way we began before. I'm going to ignore this 52 and just think about the 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to write the 4 down below, carry the 2. 6 times 0 is 0. Remember, anything times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. 6 times 3 is 18. So we're going to write the 8 underneath, carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 13. All right, I'm going to cross out the stuff I carried because I don't need it anymore. And I want to move over to this 2. In order to do that, I need to have this placeholder 0 because the 2 is in the tens place. So there's 1 0 so that my first number goes in the tens place. And then we repeat. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 2 is 4. Now we're going to move over to this 5. So 5 is in the hundreds place. So to indicate that, I now need 2 placeholder zeros to indicate that there were 2 digits after the 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we just keep going like normal. 5 times 4 is 20. So I'm going to write down the 0, carry the 2. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Now that we've multiplied by all 3 digits of 526, we're going to add these 3 results up. So I get 4, 8, 9, 10, so carry the 1. That gives me a 9. It's 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, and 4 is 6, plus 5 is 11. 2, and 1. So we're going to get 1 million, so 526 times 2304 is 1,211,904. There you go. Okay, so just to show you that it doesn't matter what order we put the numbers in, I went ahead and I put the 526 up top and the 2,304 on bottom, and I found my products that way. And notice that I get the same thing in the end, 1,211,904. So when you're finding your products, the reason I put the longer number up top in the traditional method is notice that we only had 3 lines that we then had to add together. If I put the longer number on bottom, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that I'd have to add together. So there were 4 numbers that I had to multiply by each number in the top. So that's why I had 4 lines. So you can make it a little bit shorter for yourself by putting the longer number up top. There's also a trick where if one of the digits you're multiplying by is 0 in the second number, since anything times 0 is 0, you don't even really have to write that line, so you could just skip over to the 3. But in so doing, you have to make sure that you include the right number of placeholder zeros. So there are some shortcuts and tricks, but this is like the basic structure for the traditional method of multiplication. So I've got a couple problems here for you to try using the traditional method, 145 by 23 and 217 times 42,356. In our next video, we'll start to undo multiplication by looking at division. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!